Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be putting together my hardcover journal kit that I picked up. The brand is A House of Books, but I picked it up on a cherry on top. I recently had done it in a last haul from a cherry on top. So I picked up the hardcover journal, which the contents are just here because I already have it out. And remember, it also came, I also picked up like the paper kit. This one was the fashion, the subject fashion, the assorted vintage ephemera, and assorted image clippings. And I did take out the item, so I'll leave it linked down below. It was my most recent crafty haul, I believe, where I picked up all of these. These items are for the crafters out there that are looking to get into junk journaling without having a stash or a collection of vintage and old photos and ephemera that are from, you know, the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is the perfect way to buy a kit that comes with the imagery and the old paper and old advertisements and stuff to get you started. I believe each of these little envelopes was about $10, $9.99. And I was blown away in that video on like all that was included. Because unless so my point is, say you're researching into on YouTube junk journaling, okay? There are some beautiful content creators that obviously have a stash. Anytime they go into a thrift store or a secondhand store or Goodwill, they're able to find some old book that they're able to tear out the pages and use it for their collaging, or they have a collection of old, I don't know, like fashion patterns or old bingo games. And they have like this collection that they can pull from in order to make that aesthetic for them. So me, I do like junk journaling, but I just don't have that stash. And so when I saw this on the website, I was like, yes, add to cart. And these are the ones I was able to get my hands on because, believe it or not, the things were selling like hotcakes, okay? And so this was the paper, the fashion one. So you see I have like the torn book pages. There's some lace. There's old buttons and old fabric. There's a few little moments. Now, is everything, quote unquote, truly vintage? I don't know. Like, I'm not going to paper quality and say that this page was made in, printed in the 1970s. This one looks like it could have been just printed on a yellow tone paper. It's a look for less too. So whatever is real, great. And whatever isn't, I'm okay with that. These look rather vintagey, like the staple holes are very much still in there. So this is why I was saying, I think it's great for the look, even if it is just mass produced. Like this one might be mass produced, but some of them look, rather legit. But for someone like me who's just getting started, this is a way to go. And this one just looks like it's printed on cardstock, so I get to cut it out. I've also visited their website, and they have and some of these are just, you can get them as like PDFs, and then you can print them off as often as you like, which is also a nice thing. So it's called ahouseofbooks.com, and you can get these items. So that's my intro. Now my project. So with I just put it to the side. Okay. So with the hardcover journal, it's included supplies needed to make a hardcover journal, and a virtual course is included. So your virtual course is included. That's my card with the code on it. And inside this one, you get the papers, the fabrics, a ribbon, the hardcover book, and don't mind me because I have been folding the papers. Alrighty, so already done. So now, granted, you could find a book and gut it out like this, or you can get a kit. So the papers do seem that are printed, okay? So I've already folded up half of 2/3 of them, right? And some of them are printed in a way where, like this one, once you fold it in half, you have these great images on both sides. And then inside is like this lovely floral pattern. So I was just kind of arranging them already in a way that I would like to see in my book. So that's all I was doing off camera, was just folding these pages, and making them into a signature. So the signature is each bound group of papers, and they are going to be sewn into the book. Now, I'm not going to explain everything that they did because obviously I watched the course. I paid for it with my purchase of this. But there are very similar ones that you can find on YouTube. So I am going to be making it. I'll speed up the process. But I'm not going to like slow it down to really go into everything because Like I said, I paid for a course. Watch the course that comes with it. And then I will leave a few linked down below that are very similar to it without, you know, saying too much. Now it comes with 2 pieces of fabric. I do believe the shinier one is meant for the inside cover, but clearly I was measuring them. They're both about the same size. So the whole idea is to use one for the outside cover. Okay, so we're gonna like Mod Podge it all on the outside, turn it inside, and you know, do the whole binding, and then have this one lay across in the inside to finish off those seams. So that is the bulk of it, which is probably gonna be a lot of dry time. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to use the fabric. You can use it just as this, which is also fine. And remember, also in the kit is included is everything you need for the book binding process. So that means the awl, the embroidery thread, the needle, and a guide for your holes. So that's in the inside, so you can poke the holes. And then in this side, I do make, yep, and I do believe it is the outside like charm dangle. So there's the tassel and the brad and the jump ring. So that is for the outside like spine. And so all of it's needed, included to make our book. So in my experience, or, you know, understanding of other videos, because obviously I've been on a rabbit hole with junk journaling, this one does call for it to have 3 signatures, okay? And then we put it in there. But as I see junk journalers work, yes, I have like probably a 1-inch spine. I think I'm only going to leave it to 2 signatures, because the whole idea too, remember, with junk is you're adding junk to it. So junk, what that means is like, you know, mail advertising clippings, business cards, maps, menus, things like that, which carry more bulk to it. So as you add it into a page, the pages will get thicker and chunkier. And I fear that having 3 signatures in here, because I know I want to make it thick, might be too much paper. Because usually the spines, as I see them in other creators, are a little bit bigger. And so if you're already putting that much paper, you know, there's only so much width that it can take. Unless you wanted to keep it mostly like paints and, you know, watercolors and not doing a lot of collage stuff. So for me, I think I'm already going to alter it where it's just 2 signatures and not necessarily 3. It's my first time. We're going to see how that goes, okay? So just know you need a stack of papers that you fold in half. These are most likely 8.5 by 11 in nature. And then probably a normal book that you can gut out. Probably go to Goodwill or the thrift store. Or if you are lucky to have one that's donated, maybe the library. I always get good finds at the library too from them. And so, yeah, so I guess, you know, even I can do this. So we're just going to, like I said, I'm going to put the footage on fast forward. Yeah, I don't want the shiny to get ruined. And now, don't get me wrong. If you don't like the fabric that comes with it, you can use whatever. If you've got fabric in your craft room, you can use fabric from your craft room. But this one's not so bad for me. I think I can make that work. And so, yeah, and so they do say start with the cover. And so you're having this part first. Okay. So I'm going to get my Modgy Podgy, and we're going to start making this come together. And there's a lot of drying time, so it'll be in stages. Alrighty, so let's get started. It turned out so good, everyone. So, I feel like, okay, since this was probably a majority of it, this will just be the putting together of my book. And it's good. And I like the bow. That was really, this was included. So all the fabric was included. So let me just show you how it all turned out. So that was the bow. And this is the closure. Here's the stitching. And I have made a junk journal like this in the past. And you know what not to say regret doing now that I have it, but this is, I'll show you real quick. So I had made one of these a long time ago, and I had put buttons on the spine. I think I just made this because I wasn't sure how it would turn out. And you can see like this one's like probably a 2-inch spine. It has 4 signatures. And I use this one as a like random little journal to Valentina. Whenever I have extra photos that I hadn't scrapped or something, like I just kind of plunk it in here at different spots. And so I have this one just kind of active. It's always on my thing, but I'll be honest too, I don't think I've written in here in a year or so. So you can see just little pictures, and these are just extra ones. So when they're definitely like, oh, I didn't use it, I'll just kind of tuck it in here and go on. So when I made this one, I put buttons. That would be the only thing that's different from this one, is that now that I did it, I was like, oh, I should have added some buttons or, you know, charms. But for the sake of having a new junk journal to fill, it's okay. So here's how everything dried. And so the veining and stuff of these are the 2 fabrics that came with the kit. And so, like, I'm just thinking out loud. So if I go to the library or find a book that's like $1 or something, I can always gut it and I can make more of the books. And then, not to say I have a whole stash of different fabrics to use, but you know, 2 pieces of fabric can make you line the cover, and especially in the spine, so it makes all kind of like one piece. And then depending, so if you use the spine of the book, it's like a 1-inch, right? But you can, you know, manipulate it, cut it, and make it bigger so that you can have something, you know, a lot thicker. Is also something I can alter in the future. And then as this book gets filled with papers, and these are just papers, so I didn't make anything into like a pocket. I didn't make anything like a half sheet. I've seen junk journalers put in like envelopes that they fold in half, and then they have little tuck spots. So I didn't do any of those interactive things. I just left it straight as the kit comes, straight from the tutorial. And it's great. It's a great tutorial. It's a great kit. So I highly recommend, if you are looking to get into junk journaling and you're wanting to do something like this. But don't get me wrong, when I did this, I will say this one costed me a pretty penny, only because of all the pages. You can see like there are storybooks and stuff. So yes, I used the Little Mermaid Golden book, but then I had other ones, and it took me a while to collect a few of the books that I used pages from. And then you can see I just kind of spray on some line paper. Here's an envelope, you know, as well. That you probably is a tuck spot, right? Is it a tuck spot? Yeah, see, so there's an envelope there. And so you can just see that there's other things. And I remember, like I said, I had to collect a bunch of different ones. So I remember spending, at the time, I think I was just going to, you know, Goodwill randomly and picking up some things. You know, I threw in scrapbook paper. So this is also the option of making it a little bit more unique. But like I said, for the sake of buying a kit when you don't have vintage papers, getting it a book, having all the fabric, the bow, the instructions, the thread, because all of these little extra things you never know are added expenses when you want to say, oh, I'm going to get into junk journaling. So to have all this be together is really what keeps the kit wonderful. And so that will be it. So I will be working on pages in this. I don't think I'll do one now because we'll see how long the footage is. I'll see how long the footage is. If this is a short video, then I'll add like a little page or something, and I'll add something in. If not, it'll be an upcoming video where I'll start doing a spread or 2 in here with some of the ephemera and the things that came in here. And keep in mind, like, I have the order of my pages like this, but you could do any order you want to, you know what I mean? Like, this is just how I kind of intertwine the pages together for my book. So this is I'm excited. I'm excited so much. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will leave everything I can linked down below so that you can shop at a cherry on top for your kit. And until next time, everyone, bye.